All right, today we are diving deep into one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, most hyped technologies of our time, artificial intelligence. We're going to look at both the incredible promise and, yeah, the very real peril. Let's get into it.
You know that weird feeling, right? You're scrolling through your phone, maybe just thinking about getting new running shoes, and bam, an ad for those exact shoes pops up. How in the world does it do that?
Well, that spooky, accurate ad is a little taste of artificial intelligence in action. But trust me, its reach goes way, way beyond just getting you to click buy. It's shaping everything from how we discover new medicines to how conflicts are fought.
Okay, so to really wrap our heads around this stuff, we got to start at square one. Let's just break down what AI actually is.
At its most basic, AI is all about making machines that can do things that would normally take a human brain. And that can be something super simple, like recognizing your face to unlock your phone, or something incredibly complex, like diagnosing a disease from a CAT scan. Sometimes even better than a human doctor can.
And here's a more formal take on it, which really gets to the heart of the matter. It's not just about being a super calculator. It's about reasoning, finding meaning, and, this is the big one, learning from experience. And how does it learn? Well, it wolfs down just massive amounts of data, pictures, articles, numbers, you name it, and starts to recognize patterns. And that pattern recognition is how an AI goes from seeing what you like to shop for to spotting cancerous cells on a slide.
And while it feels like AI just exploded onto the scene yesterday, the truth is, this has been cooking for a long, long time. The foundations for all this, they've been in the works for decades. The U.S. National Science Foundation started pouring money into AI research way back in the 1960s.
Now, this is a really, really crucial point to get. Not all AI is created equal. The AI we have right now, think of it like a brilliant specialist. It's like a chess grandmaster who can only play chess. It's amazing at that one task because of the data it's been trained on. But the AI you see in movies, the kind that understands why you're having a bad day or that has its own secret plans, that's a whole other level. And for now, it's still just a theory. Keeping that distinction in mind is key.
So how is this super specialist AI actually showing up in our day-to-day lives? Well, turns out it's not hiding in some lab anymore. It is fully out in the wild, often in ways we don't even see. Just get a load of these numbers from a 2023 report. A whopping 79% of people have already played around with generative AI, and almost a quarter of us are using it regularly for our jobs. This quiet takeover is fueling some unbelievable progress. We're talking about AI helping scientists design new drugs, making our power grids more efficient, and even creating custom lesson plans for students. The potential is just huge.
But here's the flip side. What happens when a technology this powerful, that's spreading this fast, gets things wrong? Because with that massive scale comes the risk of some really big and often pretty harmful screw-ups.
And this quote just nails the problem perfectly. AI systems aren't born with prejudices. They learn them from us, from the data we feed them. So if our data reflects our own society's biases, say a company has mostly hired men for the last 50 years, the AI is going to learn that pattern and think that's the rule. It's the ultimate garbage in, garbage out scenario. The AI is just a mirror reflecting our own flawed world back at us. And if you want a jaw-dropping example, look at this. The Gender Shades Project tested commercial facial recognition systems. For light-skinned men, the error rate was less than 1%. Pretty good. But for dark-skinned women, the error rate shot up to almost 35%. That's not a tiny glitch. That is a fundamental failure with huge real-world implications. And the stakes get even higher when we look at the justice system. An algorithm that was being used in U.S. courts to predict who might reoffend was nearly twice as likely to wrongly label black defendants as high risk compared to white defendants. We're talking about an algorithm that has a direct say in someone's freedom, and it is deeply, fundamentally flawed.
And this isn't just a few isolated incidents. This pattern of harm is everywhere. In healthcare, an algorithm meant to find patients who needed extra care ended up overlooking black patients more than half the time. In hiring, Amazon had to ditch a recruiting tool because it was penalizing women. But the danger isn't just about baked-in bias. AI is also being used to create brand new threats, like this terrifyingly realistic deepfake of President Zelensky, which was designed to spread chaos and misinformation during a war.
Okay, so the problem is pretty clear, and frankly, a little scary. But what's the fix? Well, the good news is, a lot of very smart people are working on ways to wrestle back control and basically tame these algorithms. And a huge part of that comes down to this core idea, meaningful human control. It's a simple but really profound concept. It says no matter how smart the machine gets, a human being, not a piece of code, has to be the one who is morally on the hook for its decisions, especially when people's lives are on the line.
So one really practical way to do this is something called AI red teaming. It's different from old school cybersecurity that just tests, networks and servers. AI red teaming is all about stress testing the AI's behavior. Teams are hired to basically try and trick the AI into saying dangerous things or making stuff up so it can find those weak spots before they cause any real damage.
And beyond just trying to break things, a whole new toolbox is popping up to help build them right in the first place. We're seeing these awesome open-source toolkits from places like Google and Microsoft, designed specifically to help developers check their own work for bias and fix it before a product ever sees the light of day.
People are also thinking bigger picture, laying out an entire roadmap to build a culture of responsibility. This means teaching ethics from the get-go, creating real incentives for building safe AI, being careful about how dangerous research is shared, and, crucially, drawing some hard red lines to just say no to the most high-risk applications.
All right, so let's look down the road a bit, because as wild as things are today, we are probably on the edge of a transformation that's even more profound.
Remember that distinction we made earlier between the AI of today and the AI of tomorrow? Well, as we inch closer to that theoretical theory of mind, an AI that could actually understand human feelings and motivations, the ethical questions just get so much harder.
And one idea that's right on that frontier is the digital doppelganger. And no, we're not just talking about a smarter chatbot. This is the concept of an AI clone designed to be a perfect digital copy of a real, living person, learning their personality, their quirks, their whole base of knowledge.
And man, this just opens up a massive can of ethical worms. I mean, what happens if your clone starts to change and evolve without you? Who actually owns your digital self? What if it makes a huge decision you totally disagree with? And what's to stop someone from just scraping all your public data and making a clone of you without you ever knowing? These are the kinds of questions we're going to have to face, and probably sooner than we think.
Which really brings us to the final and most important question of all. The upside of AI is absolutely incredible, but the downside is just as real. As we continue to build these machines that can think and learn and maybe one day feel, it really forces us to ask ourselves, who is really in control here?